In a cluttered bunker, a narrator explains how time repeats itself, affecting the present. In June 2019, a man named Michael Conwald tragically ends his own life. He leaves behind a photo featuring himself, his son Jonas, and two women, along with a letter to be opened later. Fast forward to November 4th, Jonas and his mom, Hannah, carry secrets. We are introduced to Hannah's lover, Ulrich, who sneaks around to keep their affair a secret. We also see a changed family photo that hints at deeper mysteries. Adding to this, it is revealed that the town, surrounded by woods and a nuclear plant, also hides many secrets. Then we see Michael's son Jonas talk to therapist Peter Doppler about his dad's death. Meanwhile, Inez, who is likely Jonas's grandma, guards the mysterious letter left by Michael. It is revealed that Ulrich, married to Katerina, has three kids. According to the recent news, the town frets over a missing child named Eric, straining ties with the cops. Meanwhile, we see a hooded figure lurking in a nearby cave, adding more to the mystery. In the town, Franziska reveals a surprising secret. Magnus, her brother, is actually the principal's son. This revelation adds a new twist to their relationships. Meanwhile, Jonas returns home to find out that Bartosz, his friend, is now dating Martha, the girl Jonas likes. It's a bit of a shock for Jonas, especially after being away for a while dealing with his father's suicide. Adding to the complexity, Ulrich, who's also a member of the police force, is partnered with Charlotte, the wife of the local therapist. It seems like everyone in this small town is connected in unexpected ways. As rumors circulate about Eric's disappearance, there are whispers that he had possessions hidden in the caves, raising suspicion about what really happened to him. Ulrich visits his mother, Jana, who shares a troubling piece of family history. His brother Mads vanished without a trace 33 years ago. Could there be a connection between Mads's disappearance and Eric's? The mystery deepens as we catch a glimpse of Eric's unsettling room, filled with 80s music playing loudly. The sight of a strange chair with restraints adds to the eerie atmosphere, leaving us wondering what secrets lie within. In the woods, Jonas encounters Martha, who expresses regret about her newfound relationship with Bartosz. Despite the tension, there's an undeniable connection between Jonas and Martha, hinting at potential romantic feelings. Together with their friends, they ponder Eric's fate, imagining various scenarios and fearing the worst as they search for answers in the dark. At a tense town meeting led by Katerina, residents express their fears and concerns about safety. The atmosphere grows even more unsettling when old Helga Doppler unexpectedly interrupts, warning ominously of a recurring event while dressed in his pajamas. Meanwhile, the group of friends searching for Eric's stash in the woods encounters Franziska, who seems to be ahead of them. Bartosz manages to wrestle the drugs away from her just before they hear a strange noise coming from the cave. As they flee, their flashlights flicker and the noise intensifies, almost as if it's pursuing them. In the chaos, Jonas stumbles and hears a voice calling his name from the shadows, only to see his father covered in blood or oil. As they emerge from the trees, they realize that little Mikkel, who was with them, is missing. Inez, Jonas's mother, opens the letter left behind by her son Michael, leading to emotional tears. The situation escalates when Mikkel's disappearance prompts a frantic search led by Ulrich, Mikkel's father, who rushes into the woods and enters the cave in desperation. Meanwhile, Charlotte, leading the investigation, receives a distressing call from her husband, hinting at undisclosed information. The discovery of a child's body in the forest, initially believed to be Mikkel, shocks everyone. However, Ulrich's horrified reaction reveals that it's another boy, badly disfigured, with a Walkman still playing beside him. The chilling scene in the eerie room with 80s music playing on TV shows Eric being locked into a strange chair, adding another layer of mystery to the unfolding events. In the woods, a mysterious stranger observes the ongoing search for Eric Obendorf. Meanwhile, Jonas experiences unsettling visions of his father covered in a dark, blood-like substance, though he chalks it up to a dream. As the investigation progresses, Charlotte Doppler and the medical examiner examine the body of the recently discovered boy, noting signs of severe torture. Charlotte's husband, Peter, sits in his car listening to reports about the missing boys, visibly distressed. Ulrich Nielsen searches desperately for his son Mikkel in the woods and stumbles upon a door marked with a radioactive symbol leading into the nuclear power plant. His next move likely involves obtaining a warrant to search the plant grounds. Jana expresses her concerns about events from 30 years ago resurfacing in the present, particularly regarding the disappearance of her son Mads. Suspicion falls on her husband Tronte, who is seen washing a sweater with bloodstains, raising questions about their son's disappearance in the 1980s. Meanwhile, Jonas explores the room where his father took his own life, while Jana sifts through a box of Mads's belongings. The mysterious stranger, seen reading a book titled A Journey Through Time by H.G. Tannhaus, appears to be involved in enigmatic activities, surrounded by intricate drawings and a peculiar contraption in his room, an old-looking machine. Everyone is dealing with their own struggles. Magnus feels guilty for his brother's disappearance, while Martha is torn between her new life with Bartosz and her lingering feelings for Jonas. Speaking of Jonas, he's still trapped in that room. He explores and finds a loose panel in the ceiling, revealing some papers that map out the Winden Caves. Back in the eerie room where Eric is held captive, a video of H.G. Tannhaus from the 80s explains his theories, adding to the mystery and terror. Bartosz's father, Alexander Tiedemann, runs the plant and seems protective and secretive. He refuses Ulrich and the police entry, prompting them to seek a warrant. There's suspicion about what the company might be hiding. Ulrich is preoccupied with his son's disappearance and his complicated relationship with Hannah, but he also investigates a link to Jürgen Obendorf, stumbling upon a drug stash on his property. Tragically, Eric is found dead, his body burned like the other victims. Meanwhile, Alexander engages in shady dealings in the forest, hinting at his involvement in illicit activities. The whole town is facing strange electrical disturbances, with power flickering and wildlife issues like dead birds littering the area. Charlotte discovers many dead birds outside the police station. Meanwhile, an unknown person meticulously tracks these events, collecting newspaper clippings and altering headlines. He writes, "Where is Mikkel?" on one of the headlines. This mystery figure raises questions about connections to the overall puzzle. As for Mikkel, his whereabouts remain a mystery. He emerges from a cave in the woods and returns home, only to find things look different, older, from a different time. His key doesn't work, and he encounters a young Ulrich and Katerina who don't recognize him. Mikkel realizes he's somehow been transported back to 1986. In 1986, Mikkel finds himself completely disoriented. His home is no longer his but his father's, who is 33 years younger. Inside, he encounters Jana, who is distressed because this is the time when young Mads disappeared years ago. Meanwhile, Charlotte discovers a dead bird while riding her bike. Is it just an ordinary dead bird, or does it hold significance like the ones found 33 years into the future? We begin to see the interconnected family relationships that exist in both the past and present timelines. Mikkel wanders into the school, where people suspect he's under the influence of drugs due to his bewildered state. The nuclear power plant has a new leader, Claudia Tiedemann, which is quite remarkable for late 1980s Germany. There are hints of a romantic connection between Claudia and Tronte Nielsen, and her father, Egon, serves as the local police chief. He's occupied with investigating a field where numerous sheep have been found dead. At the police station, Egon encounters young Mikkel, who claims to be looking for his father, Ulrich. Egon finds this absurd, especially when Mikkel reveals he's from the future. The situation becomes even more perplexing when Egon sees Mikkel's injuries and assumes Ulrich is responsible. To Mikkel's dismay, his own uncle is missing in 1986, adding to the confusion. Meanwhile, nurse Inez Conwald tends to Mikkel, attempting to help him. At the Nielsen household, Egon confronts Ulrich, who is listening to heavy metal and playing video games. Egon admonishes him, believing Ulrich is acting out due to his brother Mads's disappearance. Claudia's takeover of the nuclear plant seems to stir up trouble. She discusses concerns with Bernd Doppler, who expresses regret over the Chernobyl disaster. However, his worry isn't solely about the physical damage, but also the tarnished reputation of nuclear power. It hints at the company's hidden troubles, likely some serious issues lurking in their past. Meanwhile, Mikkel receives a medical checkup, which deems him physically fine, but mentally devastated. He confides in Inez about being from the future, but she initially dismisses it as a product of his imagination, possibly influenced by the comic books he reads. Later, Baron takes Claudia to a secluded area where a hole in the earth reveals stacks of nuclear waste barrels hidden underground. Claudia explores the cave with a flashlight and rope, witnessing the extent of the company's secret disposal of hazardous materials. That night, Egon searches the fields and is suddenly bombarded by dead birds falling from the sky. His flashlight flickers and he narrowly avoids being knocked unconscious by the raining birds. A captivating sequence unfolds, showing many characters alongside their older selves in 2019, including Tronte, Regina, and others. We also discover that the gift Helga gave Claudia is none other than A Journey Through Time by H.G. Tannhaus, adding another layer of intrigue. Then we're transported back to the present, where Ulrich is desperately searching for his son, Mikkel, returning to the cave where Mikkel disappeared. In the past, Mikkel ventures further into the darkness, unaware of his father's search in 2019. As Ulrich pounds on the cave door, Mikkel hears strange noises from 1986 and calls out for help, his voice echoing through time. Despite their connection, they remain unable to find each other, separated by the barriers of time and space. Meanwhile, the machine we saw the stranger with is revealed to be the same one H.G. Tannhaus is working on in 1986, unveiling even more mysteries surrounding the time-traveling events. Starting with what sounds like H.G. Tannhaus narrating, delving into discussions about time and space and the mysteries of black holes, this episode introduces the Trinity knot, also known as the triquetra, as part of its imagery. The stranger sports an elaborate back tattoo related to this symbol, actually called the Emerald Tablet. The strained relationship between Peter and Charlotte Doppler is evident, with hints of them sleeping in separate rooms. Peter seems to harbor secrets, adding to the intrigue. Their daughters, Franziska and Elizabeth, each have their own challenges, with Franziska showing volatility and Elizabeth grappling with her deafness. Peter visits his father, Helga, at the home, raising questions about his role in the unfolding events. Meanwhile, Charlotte does some unofficial detective work while taking Elizabeth to school, revealing their close bond. Hannah tries to maintain a connection with her son Jonas, who is grappling with personal turmoil and ventures alone into the caves with a map from his father's room. Charlotte investigates the dead birds and feels a connection to the missing children's case, though she's unsure of the exact link. As Jonas searches the caves for answers, Ulrich and Katharina Nielsen struggle to communicate and obtain a warrant to search the nuclear power plant, growing increasingly concerned about their missing son, Mikkel. Time is running out for them to unravel the mysteries surrounding the town. There's growing concern surrounding Peter, as he becomes visibly distressed over a small spot of dirt in his car. When Charlotte questions his whereabouts on the night Mikkel disappeared, Peter claims he was working late, though it's clear to viewers, and likely to Charlotte, that something else is going on. Charlotte investigates further, suspecting Peter's involvement with a sex worker, who confirms his infidelity. This encounter sheds light on Peter's hidden secrets and potential struggles with his sexuality. Meanwhile, Magnus follows Franziska to her ballet rehearsal, where she vents about the town's secrets, hinting at deeper mysteries. Charlotte learns from the medical examiner that the dead birds suffered obliterated eardrums, possibly due to electromagnetic interference. Intrigued by the connection to the missing boys, Charlotte explores a bunker in the woods before being called to the nuclear plant, where she finds Ulrich beaten. Elsewhere, Elizabeth, feeling neglected, ventures out alone in the rain, while Helga mysteriously wanders into the storm, repeating, "Tick-tock." Charlotte discovers Elizabeth's hat, but no sign of her daughter. Helga is found by the police, muttering about needing to stop something. Upon returning home, Charlotte encounters a stranger named Noah, who presents her with a gold watch engraved with her name. The stranger's identity and connection to the town's mysteries remain elusive, but it's clear that Helga knows him. In the woods, a deaf boy encounters a figure made of acorns before the hooded stranger arrives, claiming to be sent by Noah. The implications of this encounter are chilling, raising questions about the sinister rituals unfolding in the town. In this little German town, the disappearances of children span across time, with police from different eras like Egon Tiedemann in '86 and Charlotte Doppler in 2019, all searching for answers. The whole community, including Jonas, Hannah, Ines, Ulrich, and others, is caught in the turmoil. The missing children, especially after Yasin vanished in the woods following the appearance of the stranger, have sparked widespread concern. The enigmatic Noah is hinted to be behind it all, pulling strings from the shadows. Meanwhile, Charlotte grapples with her daughter's disappearance after encountering Noah. She also questions her husband Peter's involvement in the disappearances, adding to the complexity of the situation. In Setway 86, Mikhail's despair deepens as Nurse Inez tries to comfort him amidst his confusion. The stranger, surrounded by cryptic drawings and clippings, continues his mysterious work with the machine created by H.G. Tannhaus. Bartosz receives a call from Noah, signaling potential trouble ahead, while Hannah's visit to Katerina, Ulrich's wife, adds more tension to the already tangled web of relationships in the town. Katharina suspects Ulrich's infidelity, further complicating their dynamics. The stranger makes a mysterious departure, leaving a package for Jonas at the front desk where Regina works. It adds to the intrigue surrounding him. Meanwhile, Bartosz confides in Jonas about being in touch with Eric's dealer, setting up a potentially risky meeting. In Alquoz 86, Mikkel has a chilling encounter with a priest named Noah, showcasing a clash between faith and science. The scene is one of the eeriest moments in the series so far, highlighting Mikkel's existential struggle. Ulrich and Hannah have a tense conversation in 2019, hinting at a brewing conflict that could have dangerous consequences. The parallel between their past and present selves, with a young Hannah pining for Ulrich, adds to the complexity of their relationships. Caught between two eras, Mikkel faces a harrowing reality in Alquoz 86, where he's placed in a foster home indefinitely. Inez sees him as a peculiar boy, sparking speculation about his future. There's a wild theory about Inez potentially adopting Mikkel, leading to a twist in the family tree that may have influenced Michael's tragic fate. Charlotte discusses the 33-year cycle, suggesting a cosmic pattern that aligns with the events unfolding in their town. This cycle, explored by her grandfather and Aegon Tiedemann, may hold the key to understanding the town's mysteries. On a bench near his father's grave, Jonas has a chilling encounter with the stranger, who delves into dark and existential topics before abruptly departing, leaving Jonas unsettled. In Chateau 86, Hannah yearns for maturity to win Ulrich's attention over Katharina. Her encounter with Mikkel, who reveals himself as a boy from the future, adds to the surrealism of the situation. Meanwhile, Bartosz prepares to meet Noah, believing him to be a drug dealer, while Jonas opts to reconnect with Martha at her play. As Bartosz meets Noah on a desolate road, the priest's intentions remain mysterious, raising questions about his true motives. Katharina confronts Ulrich about infidelity, to which he lies, while Hannah grapples with painful memories of witnessing Ulrich and Katharina's intimacy, leading to a devastating lie that tears lives apart. Jonas receives a package from the stranger, containing enigmatic items and a letter from his father, revealing the truth about his time-traveling journey from Mikkel to Michael. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Jonas faces an uncertain future. Meanwhile, Tannhaus is visited by the stranger, sparking a conversation about the complexities of time, hinting at deeper revelations to come.